Once a global leader in smartphone cameras, Samsung's Galaxy series hasn't really been the same lately. Remember when Samsung used to dominate zoom and low-light photography? Yeah, those days are kinda behind us. But fans are still holding out hope that the Galaxy S26 Ultra might finally bring that magic back. Well, the early leaks suggest Samsung's not exactly going all out this time either. The main camera? It's still the same 200-megapixel ISOCELL HP2 sensor we've seen since the S23 Ultra. But there's a small twist. Samsung's reportedly going with a wider f1.4 aperture this time, compared to f1.7 on the S25 Ultra. That's 47% more light hitting the sensor, which means better low-light shots, cleaner details, and more accurate colors. So while it's not a new sensor, you might still see a noticeable boost in photo quality. There were some rumors about a fancy variable aperture, like f/1.4 to f/4.0, but that's probably not happening. Instead, Samsung's expected to bring something called a virtual aperture, basically a software trick to simulate DSLR-style background blur for portraits. Pretty cool if it works right, but again, that's software, not hardware. Internally though, Samsung is reportedly changing how it coats its camera lenses. Instead of the usual thin films, they're switching to inkjet-printed coatings. Sounds minor, but it actually helps reduce glare and ghosting, while also making the camera module a bit slimmer. That could mean a sleeker design without compromising photo quality. Now, about that zoom camera, here's where things get a little disappointing. Samsung's 3x zoom camera might be getting a new 12-megapixel sensor, but don't get too excited. The company apparently still plans to use just 10 megapixels out of it. And to make things worse, the new sensor is actually smaller than before. So, not much of an upgrade there. As for the 5x zoom lens, Samsung's sticking with the same 50-megapixel sensor from the S24 Ultra. The only difference is a slightly wider f2.9 aperture for better low-light performance. But honestly, that's not going to shake up the zoom competition. Samsung's zoom dominance has really faded, and it looks like the S26 Ultra won't be changing that story. Even the ultra-wide lens is staying the same 50-megapixel unit from the S25 Ultra. So yeah, on the back, we're not seeing any major sensor upgrades this time around. The only real change comes up front. The selfie camera's finally getting some love. Samsung's putting in a new 12-megapixel sensor, same resolution but improved hardware, so selfies should look sharper and more natural this time. And no, it's not going under the display. Samsung's sticking to the tried and tested punch hole camera. At the end of the day, it's pretty clear that Samsung's putting its bets on software this year, not hardware. Expect a big AI push, better HDR, more natural skin tones, improved stabilization, and smarter low-light processing. Basically, Samsung's going the computational photography route, like what Google and Apple have been doing for a while now. But here's the thing. Samsung's still refusing to go for those huge 1-inch sensors we're seeing in other flagships. Sony and Xiaomi are already going that way, but Samsung wants its phones to stay slim and light. That's why they're keeping the same 1/1.3-inch ISOCELL HP2 sensor instead of going bigger. It's a design-first decision, but that could cost them when it comes to camera performance. And if you were hoping for that rumored 200-megapixel continuous zoom sensor from Samsung, the one that could go from 3 times to 7 times without quality loss, sorry, not this time. It's just too big and needs a moving lens, and Samsung doesn't want to make the phone thicker. On the bright side, Samsung's stepping things up for video creators. The S26 Ultra will debut a brand new APV Codec, kind of like Apple's PRORES, which promises pro-grade cinematic video recording without eating up as much space. It supports HDR, LOG video, and even lets you save footage directly to an external SSD through USB-C. You'll also get new frame rate options like 4K at 100 frames per second and 8K at 25 frames per second, plus support for LUTs right inside the Gallery app for quick color grading. So while the photo hardware might not be a huge leap, the video side looks seriously impressive this time. But what do you guys think? Is Samsung playing it too safe with the S26 Ultra's cameras? Or are software and AI upgrades enough to keep it in the flagship race? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's talk about it. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, take care.